afternoon, kids and families. My name is Sherry Davis Livingston, and I am the 4-H and Youth Development Agent for the Clemson Extension Services here in Georgetown. And I have this true passion, and that passion is working in the kitchen, foods and nutrition. And that's what I want to share with you today. Some easy recipes that even you can prepare. So gather around, family, kids, gather around and let's enjoy this recipe. We're gonna be making applesauce. Yummy. Just love it. Don't you just love applesauce? And don't you just love it when it's homemade? Okay. This recipe calls for 6 apples, and I'm going to be using Honeycrisp apples. That's what I'm going to be using. And also water. We have this in our kitchen. And then we're also going to be using some cinnamon, which is optional. You don't have to, but we will be using cinnamon. All right. The applesauce recipe that I'm using, it is by Team Nutrition Cooks, and this is something for the entire family to enjoy. And one of the things that I love about this particular recipes, it gives you step-by-step directions on your basic skills. And some of the cooking activities along with this recipe consist of how to rinse, how to peel, how to core and how to slice, how to dice, how to measure. Also, how to use cooktop safely, how to simmer, how to stir, and how to mash, and how to set your table, and also how to serve your family in the various style. So let's begin. First, let's dice our apples. You could easily dice your apples with a core or simply just a knife. Now you must be very, very careful when using a knife, because the key to using a knife is to retain all of your fingers. I want to make sure we don't have those accidents. So let's get started. This is so simple. I'm going to do 4 simple cuts. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Still got our fingers. And easily. It's so simple and easy. You're going to make nice little dices. Now notice that I am not peeling my apple. Do you know why? It's because the fiber is located in the skin of your apple. And one of the things about fiber, we need that fiber for your digestive tract, so we don't get constipated. Okay? All right. Let's continue to dice. All right. And again, 4 cuts. Get them all nice dices. Remember, the smaller the dice, the less time it takes for it to cook. All right. One more here. 1, 2. Apples comes in all different kinds of colors. You got red apples, you got green apples, and you also have yellow apples. But for this recipe, I'm using the red ones. Remember, be careful. Be careful. If you're just doing this for the first time, you might want to use a core, an apple core. All right, here we go. Okay, we're going to transfer our apples into the bowl. Get it all in there. Then I have some apples that I've already pre-diced as well. We got our 6 apples. All right. Okay. And next we're going to measure out our water. We need a 1/2 cup of water. Now, boys and girls, it's very important when you're measuring that your measuring is as accurate as possible. Now, the best way to measure is to have it at eye view. So you may have to just stoop down and measure your water. We want a 1/2 cup of water. Yes, yay. And then we also need a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. Okay. Now, when you're measuring out your cinnamon, you want to make sure that it levels off just right. You might want to use a straight edge, which I'm doing, to level off all the excess. So there we have our 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. Okay, so we have that. So now we are ready to transfer our apples, our ingredients, into a pot to simmer. Okay? So we will come here and we will add our apples to this pot. Get it all out. Then we will add our 1/2 cup of water. That's all you need, and we will save our cinnamon for later. Then you will let it simmer for about 25 minutes, okay? And then I will be back. All right, we're back now, boys and girls. Our apples are now ready. They have cooked this 25 minutes. They've also had an opportunity to cool a little bit. You want to make sure that your apples cool down a little before you start to mash it. So let's get our apples. Yum, yum. And you're going to transfer our apples over to the bowl. Let's make sure we got all our apples. And then we're going to use our masher. This is what we call a masher, okay? And very, very simple. We're going to mash our apples. We're going to mash our apples. Mash mash our apples. And while we're some of you like applesauce with chunks. You can determine exactly how you like your applesauce. Okay, and now, remember we had that half a teaspoon of cinnamon? This is where your cinnamon comes to play. We're gonna sprinkle our cinnamon. Get it all in. And we're gonna mash a little bit more. You want to refrain from adding sugar. We want to use our natural sweetener here, which is your apples. Now you are going to be absolutely amazed. You're like, well, wonder what happened to the skin on the apple. Well, guess what? It all boiled down in our apples. And it also added a nice color to it. And get them all mashed real good. Now we're ready to transfer it over in our bowl. I'm gonna mix it up real good. Scoop it in the bowl. And there you have it, boys and girls. Applesauce, homemade applesauce. Isn't that beautiful? Enjoy.